And let's just take a minute while Jean-Vivi is getting us. What is CSPN, Jean-Vivi?
Sorry, those are the letters, and then it's this Apple keyboard is not the same as Windows keyboard, doesn't respond the same, so I cannot have several lines without sending the previous line, apparently.
Okay, I'm just going to put what I sent you
Yeah.
in, and people can just figure it out. So we are, just in case anybody was wondering, we are in Mercury retrograde. Oh. So we might encounter a few bumps here and there. Hey. Cindy, if you can rename Heidi.
Can you make me a co-host?
I did.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. All right. Well, there has been a flurry of activity in the field. In this group, those of you who are new, you may or may not be privy to it, but it doesn't matter because it's all the same. We're all dealing with triggers. And what we want to really come to understand is that triggers are for us. There is nothing wrong. That's Polly's bottom line statement.
Right.
What if nothing's wrong? Yeah, we get triggered, everything gets activated. But if we don't identify with that trigger, there's a whole world of possibilities. There's whole new ways to respond. As long as we're triggered and caught in our dirty diaper, we're walking around in our dirty diaper. And I don't mean that meanly or any way like that. It's just, this is what we're here to do. We're here to clean up this mess that we're in. We're here to clean it up and get free. So there are certain challenges that come up with the chart. And, you know, I've talked about this in the throat center, video class we had recently. Like, the throat center is packed with triggers. It's like teeming with triggers, renegade triggers. And each one of us is going to have a different relationship to our throat center and how we use our throat center and what happens through our throat center or through our head and ajna. But most of us, if you can believe this, most of us have some pain around either not being heard or taking up too much space, blurting, filling the field. And it's on the stick. It's either side of the stick. It's the same issue. It's a trigger. You want to say anything right there?
Well, yeah, the triggers get set up when we become externally referenced, which happens very early in the incarnation, but our attention particles are out, and then we need to adjust to or respond to them. So that's and the other part, the correlation, which is really pretty impacting, is that whatever that trigger is, it's giving you information about the distortion lens that is the way you perceive and experience reality, because that distortion lens shapes the energy that you're expressing into the quantum field. I know that sounds like some kind of mishmash, but we are always, who we're being is the information that the quantum field is in response to, and it has no judgment. It is an aspect of who we are, actually. It's the awake awareness that is my true nature. But its job is to show up corresponding to and matching who I take myself to be. So it's very tricky, isn't it? It's like, really, is that a cosmic joke? Yeah. So, but it's incumbent upon us to notice when we're triggered so that we can do the work that's at the heart of the teaching of the 6 steps work and the awakening work that Robin and I do together. It's at the heart of that teaching so that we begin to clear the field. At that point, we are in position and in expression of the possibility of a new earth. And that's what we all came to do. We all are aware of that. But if it doesn't happen here, it ain't gonna happen out there. So that's the brilliance, that's the shining of the light of awareness on how it works and how we have access to how it works. And it is not personal, although being triggered feels deeply personal. But that gives us the opportunity to clear the lens of perception. So,
Yeah, so there's a couple of things you said I want to put in neon. One is, okay, so we're doing this for something bigger.
yes.
This is the heaven on earth, bringing heaven to earth. This is bringing peace here. When we're triggered, we're at war. We're at war with ourselves. That's number one. Number two, what comes into our field, whether it's a judgment, overwhelm, whatever it is, we invited it with our frequency, right? It's a frequency match. If we try to go outside and blame someone or something
Or
else,
fix it out there.
fix it outside there at the level of the problem. I mean, Yara and I had this scuffle this morning before we came. I was pissed at the gardener for being late. And, I want to make sure we got our 2 hours. I didn't want to feel like, we weren't being, my justice issue got
That's right.
activated. Like, this is not right.
Supreme Court.
Exactly. I am the Supreme Justice on the Supreme Court. And,
Yeah.
and I said, and Yaro's like, it goes nice. She just gets really nice to people. And I'm like, no, we have to hold the line. You can't do that. And she's like, don't talk to me like that. And, so we had our own little this morning, and then we just kind of laughed about it. I mean, after we wrestled a little bit, we laughed about it, right, Yaro?
She's like,
Still laughing.
But the point is, these are all opportunities. These are all opportunities. In that moment, I'm trying to control what happens out there. Yaro's trying to make sure the relationship stays intact, right? We have different strategies, different adaptive strategies to navigate this thing, but it's in relation to our charts, it's in relation to our voice, and
your wound.
to our wound. It's in relation to our wound, and we want to heal these, we want to clear these wounds.
Totally.
That's how we bring heaven to earth,
Okay.
when we clear these wounds. This is conditioning. This is the core of human design. This is the core of awakening. So when we're triggered, we're on track.
Yep.
We're totally on track. Nothing's wrong. We're on track. If someone in the program triggers you, yay. It's intimacy. It's like, we're learning.
One of the important things is that what we've all done over many decades on this path that we've all shared to a certain degree is that we have believed that we could work out the problem at the level of the problem, that we could be in better communication, that we could express differently. But that's not the origin of the problem. And so we're working in a place where it would be like a Band-Aid, if that good, right? So that's why using the trigger to go into our own self-judgment, our own distortion lens, so that we really clear something up, because that ain't a little thing. We think it's just between me and her, or me and him, or whatever, but it's between me and the quantum field, right? It's like
Yeah.
alert. This is big stuff. And the opportunity to be awake without concern for results without the feeling of being limited, and with the possibility of showing up and feeling the connection to your own reality on your own behalf, which includes others. But now they are yours. They're not the opposition. They're not the trigger anymore. So that's the path that we're on. Very powerful and authentically accurate.
So what Polly just said, I just feel like, wow. Like if we're talking about oneness and going into oneness, as soon as we think the trigger is out there,
Right.
we are in separation.
Exactly.
But and we see the triggers in here, we're back in oneness.
And when we clear it in here, then whatever seemed to be out there arises in here. The nature of reality as being oneness has to do with clearing the distortion field, because what happens when there's no more distortion is you experience reality arising in your own, looking like others, looking like money or circumstances, whatever, but you experience it arising in the spacious awake awareness that you are. It really is like heaven on earth, and it's so powerful and so seductive in a way. You'll love it. And everybody on this call has had intimations of possibility of that. Yeah.
Everybody with us so far? Yeah, give us a thumbs up if you're tracking. Everyone's tracking. If somebody's not, please say so and we'll pause.
Definitely.
And at any time, like, I don't get that. That doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah, anything that you don't get will be an opportunity for the whole group, for me and Robin to expound in some way of a missing piece that we're not aware of. So we're all in this together, right? In that way.
So I want to think for a moment about the chart and particular vulnerabilities that might happen in the chart around speaking. And then we're going to get to Hilda's going to do a piece of work. You still good with that, Hilda? Yep, great. So open throat is one place of vulnerability. Can be blurting, right? Or can be shutting up, feeling like there's nobody hears your voice. You get louder or you blurt or you try to make yourself known, and then you feel shame because of what you've said. You just kind of, there can be a real wounding around that open throat. You can talk too much, talk too loud. All those things can happen with that open throat. Projector, same thing. They can either feel like they don't have a right to speak, or nobody's going to hear them, or they have to assert themselves in order to be heard. And we do not like that. Those of us who are not projectors do not like it when projectors do that. So then there's shame and wounding, and there's a whole entanglement that can happen with that. What we're manifesting generators can have their own shame about having their voice, having it heard, and impacting people in a way they don't like or want. And so there can be a shutting down. Manifestors, manifesting generators, there can be a shutting down of this powerful surge that's coming through. And think of all the energy it takes to shut that down. That there's big wounding there. And what I was talking to Hilda about yesterday or the other day, and then Cindy and Yarrow also are what's called triple splits. For those of you who don't know, you'll find out. But basically, the wounding of feeling overwhelmed by information coming in. This can also happen. So there's two sides of this. There's speaking, and then there's listening to people speak, right? And there can be triggers and overwhelms, like people talking too much and like, I can't take anymore, or people that can happen with an open head or a defined head, honestly. Triple splits, they're like trying to take the information in, and it takes a while for it to land. And so, oh yeah, Hilda's nodding her head. A lot of information coming in at once can be like fritzing the circuitry. It's like, stop, and a shutdown. Yeah, I know this has happened with Cindy. I know Yarrow definitely, you've talked about this. So we have two sides at play here, right? And when the entanglement happens, the tendency is to want to fix it, right? So there's someone feels shamed or overwhelmed, shut down, whatever, and the other person's like tries to come in and say, oh, I'm so sorry I did that. I will do better next time. Really, that's all trying to fix it at the level of the problem. Does this make sense? There's no fixing it at the level of the problem. You can't do it better there.
You just put sugar over shit.
Heidi, how you doing with this? Okay. So, can I talk about you for a minute, Heidi? Would you be okay with that? Yeah, so Heidi is my sister. I love her to death. And in our relationship, she was open throat blurter. And, you know, and I, at some point through human design, I think really, uh, you know, I said to her at one point, do you know that you're as powerful, if not more powerful, in your silence than in your speaking? Because she kept trying to get her power through her speaking. And Heidi, you can jump in at any time if I'm off or inaccurate. But I watched her in the course of the years of being on the human design calls, like stop having to put her 2 cents in every time, or and just kind of come into a place of sitting in her own power and her own ground. So, and people responded to that, right? This is that universe thing, right, Heidi? People started acknowledging you and saying how much they appreciated how powerful you were and your presence. And can you unmute yourself, Heidi, and just
Yes. Actually, what you said to me about, I don't know, 17 years ago, I remember exactly where I was sitting in my van having a conversation with you on the phone. You said, Heidi, you are so powerful, but you dissipate your power when you speak. You're like a runaway train, and nobody can take in what you're saying, or I can't take in what you're saying, whatever, I don't know. And that was before human design, or maybe early human design. But the part that I'm responding to is early on in my human design courses, I was blurting, I was inputting, and I was getting feedback from you, and it was hard and painful and triggering. And I didn't want that, so I started being quiet because I didn't want to be triggered. And what happened was human design started seeping through my cells. I'm a different learner. I can't learn intellectually. I get overwhelmed really easy with too much information. I didn't think this was going to be a thing for me. I thought it was your thing, and I was supporting you. And what happened was, I, to be honest, I didn't know how to get out of taking your courses. I didn't want to upset you. I didn't want you not to feel supported. So I just kept my mouth shut and I kept staying in. And thank God for that, because it did start seeping into my cells and into my being. And through some losses and some big things, I started going in more and deepening. And then I found this one gate that I have, gate 52. It's stillness, the mountain, and it's the planet that is in it is Mars, which takes time to mature. And I started feeling the maturity of that, and I felt myself spread outside my mind and my ego. And people started saying how supported they felt, how powerful I was, how loving they felt I was, and I hadn't said a word. And verbalizing was my currency. It's how I felt like I had any money. And then so when you take my voice away, I'm broke, I'm bankrupt. So it was a shock to experience connecting with people and feeling seen on a nonverbal level. So that's
Beautiful.
my experience.
yeah. And so I just want to say this just to clear the air here. And so I've asked Heidi to step up in the training and be more of a leader in the training and support the personal journey in the training. whenever we take a turn to another level, some of the old behaviors are going to pop back up, and some of the, yeah, so it just happens. So I'm asking you guys, as Heidi steps up into this leadership training, to give her a lot of grace and space as she finds her footing with her voice and this new role. Anything else you want to say there, Heidi?
Yeah, I really would like to run and not step up in this role. It's so uncomfortable. I don't want other people to not feel safe around me or to, it's really hard, but I appreciate you saying that whenever we do something new, it's likely to ignite a lot of old triggers, and I'm so triggered. But it's not happening just in human design in these groups. I'm getting it's on the frequency. I'm getting it from a client texted me this morning saying, I didn't think you were present with me at our last session. I don't think I want to work with you anymore. And it was like, oh, so I'm getting it. The universe is showing me where I am, and I'm welcoming it. So.
Right. What the universe is showing all of us all the time, especially with triggers, is the idea of who we are. That's not true.
Right.
And so the clearing of the screen, the distortion lens, has to do with, in the vernacular, we could say what it is experienced at initially is not giving a shit, basically. It's like, I always think Satan comes, the trigger comes and finds nothing in me. It's like, so what? It's like, so we come home to ourselves. As we come home to ourselves and the lens clears, the way the world shows up changes. In the middle of all of that, we feel triggered. We work the trigger, but we're not ever wanting not to be triggered, because that's the gold, that's the way home, that's the clearing, that's your freedom. Yes.
So
Well, I just want to say, Polly, I really appreciate hearing that. And I can hear I've done a lot of work, so it's surprising to me that I'm so clobbered right now by my own self. I know that I'm believing thoughts that aren't true that's causing the pain. And I'm surprised, like the ocean waves when they're powerful and they throw you down to the sand, and it's just
Right.
tumultuous. It's hard to find the path to those 6 steps into working this. So that's where I am.
Well, I think the salvation there is just to remind yourself that you know what's happening. You
Okay.
may not be
That's
able to work it now, but it's like, I know what this is. I know
right.
what's happening here. And
It's not me.
it's not me.
Right.
No, it is the me, but it's not the one I am. And it's coming home to that one that this is about.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
So there's 2 important things here, and then we'll get to Hilda. One is, some of you have been together pretty intensely now for 6 months. And if you think about, it's gotten kind of a family feeling, and what happens in families, our triggers come up, right?
Because that's where the wounding was.
Because that's where the wounding
in the
was.
family.
So the tendency is, this is not good. I don't like it. I'm going to leave. Heidi said, I probably shouldn't be a leader. I said, no, no,
For sure you should be.
no, for sure you should be. So if, and some people said, oh, I don't think I'm going to come to group. No, this is the opportunity here. And what makes it safe to be together is that each one of us is claiming our triggers. It changes the culture. I mean, I get tears when I think of this. We were at Polly's party the other night, and it was just like the field was just pure love. It's like this love that happens when we understand. Oh, somebody blurted their, compassion. Compassion. I'm triggered. Compassion. We develop a field of compassion. And this is the gift of Polly's work, and this is a gift of human design. Really understanding, we're all working our stuff. We're all working it. Nobody's against us. All right, but just before we go to Hilda, anything that needs to be said or wants to be said here? I want to just give Roxanne, are you holding your holding back?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. And Oh my gosh. Yeah. There's something showing up for, I'm getting emotional in a good way. You know what I would value, and I don't know what where this could happen. What would be edifying for me on this journey, because this year I have felt like the word that keeps coming to me is cauldron. I've been in a cauldron, and I thought I was just here to learn human design and learn about myself. And man, I tell you what, I've been getting triggered left and right, and I have chosen to stay in the fire and be with the discomfort. And at the same time, I've had breakthroughs along the way, and I know everybody else has too. And what I would love is if there were a space, maybe I'll create the space, because having a space where we weekly can share the breakthroughs that we're having, because hearing about somebody else's challenge and breakthrough is going to uplift me and help me to see things differently, and being able to share mine too. I get to process it, and it helps it to sink in even deeper.
I mean, one thought I have, I love that. One thought I have, and Roxanne, you're always calibrating the field and upgrading the field. So you're doing your job here with your writing, with your cross of tension. I have two thoughts. One is that we incorporate the 6 steps more into the program. Like even in your group, you could do the 6 steps when you guys meet. When you meet with your partner, you could do the 6 steps. You could check in more on the level of triggers. I let that be part of the conversation. That's one thing. The other thing would be to use the forum as a place to share.
I like the physical face to face, being able to vocalize it, hear it. That for me is edifying. I don't like reading stuff it's detached.
Okay, good. So
yeah, that's just me.
All right. Anybody else need to say something before we go to Hilda? Or called to say something? Yeah, Deborah.
I just want to say how much I appreciate this conversation, because everything did feel there was a lot of turmoil, and I've been able to process quite a bit since then, but being able to go steps further together, it's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Deborah. Okay, a little context. Working with Hilda, we were doing your midway evaluation, and you can correct me if I'm off in this, Hilda, and you were talking about how English is not your first language, so you don't feel like you can just speak. It's harder for you to speak, and B, you can get overwhelmed by everyone talking, and there just doesn't feel like there's a space for you. It's kind of feels like a projector not being invited kind of feeling when you talk about it. Like there's not the space for you to show up, right? And what we know in human design is we need everyone. We need everyone. So Hilda and I were looking at it, and we're looking at, what might be happening, because here we have a manifesting generator, right? So theoretically, we would think, yeah, you can speak and be heard. But then we put this triple split piece in, and we put whatever conditioning is in, and we think about what Pali is saying is that there's this is tapping on something earlier. Yes, you're in an English speaking culture here. And yes, there are people who speak freely. And what's the freedom for you here? Right? Anything else you want to say here, Hilda, just to frame this?
Yeah, it's about the language, of course, and also trying to listen, and because there was a chart there, and I wanted to give a solution as well. And it was like kind of competition, survival of the fittest. That was the feeling. Everybody was talking. And I wanted to say something, but I wasn't heard or I didn't express me loud enough. I tried. And then, in fact, I give up. That's what happened. So I didn't feel heard. And of course, I recognize that from earlier times. It was not heard in really verbal way, but more in an emotional way. My parents really couldn't go on with all my emotions because I'm an emotional manifesting generator. So I had all those waves and I could be very angry and very clear in my emotions and my expressions, but they couldn't really deal with, and most of the times, with my anger. So I was the rebellious one, and I had to go at an early age. I think I was 6. I had to go to the therapist because they couldn't handle me. They couldn't really handle my emotions. So that's, I think, the source of, the feeling of the trigger of not being heard, and then withdrawing, just become little and just be the the cute one, or how you say that, the nice one.
Right.
And then I was doing naughty things behind their backs and claiming for my freedom, but without them knowing. So that was my way out. So
Before you say something, Paula, I just want to say one thing before you jump in with her, that I want everybody to see that it looks very reasonable what Hilda is saying. Like, yeah, that makes sense. You can't speak. It's not your language. There's all these people competing. It looks like the problem is outside. We could, and Hilda could get a whole group of people to say, yeah, the problem's outside. She could get people to agree with her. Everyone following me? We can get people to agree with there's a problem out there and I'm a victim of it. And that's what we do. So the first turn, the first is it's about me, is like, it's like, whoa, it goes into that one, goes back into that oneness place. It's, we can say it flippantly, oh yeah, it's about me, but it's a really deep turn. Okay.
Good. Yeah, so Hilda, you've done the 6 steps before, right? So we'll just go through them just so that it's also a learning for other people who may not have done it so much. So the first step is I'm triggered. Yeah.
Polly can't see you nodding.
Oh
so-
yeah, of course. Sorry. I was just nodding. Sorry. I always forget that. Sorry.
I know, it looks like she's right there, right? Sometimes you can tell her eyes are up here, but yeah. So
She's so in connection that it feels like she's seeing me nodding. No, I'm triggered totally. Yeah.
It's about me.
It's about me. Yeah.
Yeah. And now the feelings of that trigger. The current trigger is a specific one. Is that true, Hilda? Is this
The current one is a specific one? What do you mean?
about the group and not being heard in the group and not being able to, it's what she's saying, being on a call, not being able to speak or be heard.
So it's a current experience, right?
Yeah, it was last week somewhere. Yeah.
Okay, good. And so all of the stuff of what we work with is what these feelings were when that happened, when you were triggered. What did it feel like? And you're very aware of your emotional wave and the feelings that come up. So if you can name those.
Yeah, first there was it was overwhelming, too much information, really wanting to focus and listen, and getting frustrated because it went too quickly and there was no space for anybody else. So frustration, and there was also sadness and then giving up. That's maybe, it's quickly said, but at the end I felt very sad. of not being able to participate, because I really wanted to participate. I tried to say something, but it wasn't heard.
Yeah. And the feeling when that happens is, it goes to sadness, but initially what it may be frustration or
frustration, yeah, and anger.
uh-huh.
Was anger, yeah.
Right. Yeah, so using that compilation of experience and the feelings of those different facets of that, what's the first time or an early time in your life when you had the same feelings?
Of not being heard, because when that's the real trigger. Yeah, I'm going back to, I think, the age of 6 when I wasn't heard. I remember that I was standing there and everybody was looking at me. So my two sisters, my two parents, they were listening and they were looking at me, and like I was talking and saying what I was saying, my truths, and
Right.
in anger, and saying it's not a way to. I don't remember that good, but they were like looking at if I was a cow sitting in the, I don't know how you say that, sitting in the in the, how do you say that? The,
Pasture, a cow in the pasture. Yeah.
yeah, and they were like, and not doing anything. So I didn't feel heard. I didn't
Right.
feel listened to.
Right.
They
Yeah.
didn't react, no reaction. So it was, yeah, well,
Yeah.
very
So,
painful. I remember that so I was like putting my fist on the table. You're not listening to me. You don't understand me.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. When that happened in the family, it's very graphic, and we all can really join you in that early experience. And when that happened to you, Hilda, you, although it may not have been conscious, it's actually never conscious, as far as I can tell, but you concluded that that meant something about you, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you were being ignored, when you were trying to get the attention, when you needed to be acknowledged and heard, and it was not there, you concluded. What did you conclude that it meant about you? I must be.
Yeah, what, I'm not good enough.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the, I'm not good enough.
Yeah. Yeah,
They
that
don't,
not good enough can have many facets to
yeah.
it, right? It has so many implications in so many ways. In this woundedness that you experienced, it had to do with being heard, of being acknowledged. The experience of when you weren't heard, when they're just standing there looking at you like, what strange person is this little Hilda? You concluded something about yourself, and it was that you didn't matter, that, like you said, you weren't good enough, you weren't measuring up to what it was required to have a voice, to have an impact. So a lot of things came along with that conclusion. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I have to shut down, or I have to be quiet, because when I use my voice, it's not heard.
That's right.
Something like that. Yeah.
Right.
So
So
I'm not acknowledged. I think it's
Yeah.
that I don't matter. Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
And that comes from a lack of self-worth. I'm not good enough. I don't matter. I'm not going to be heard. And so that's what got installed. When I talk about being installed, another way to talk about that is that that's the lens. It has a distortion in it.
Mhm.
Yeah. The lens has the distortion in it of I don't matter, I'm not good enough. And now you see everything that you see through that lens, because it's like a contact lens. It's not, you can't take the glasses off, right? It's built in, and everything
Yeah.
you see reflects back to you the information from the way other people treat you, from the circumstances that you come in, are being distorted in your experience by this lens, the distortion in this lens.
Will you talk about the adaptive behaviors of the stick? Like, because she is heard in some places.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. There is a polarity at work, which is the confusing part many times, because when we concluded, I'm not good enough, I don't matter, we're picking up the stick of self-perception, right? The other end of the stick may be an assertion, I'm the best thing that ever happened. They really should listen to me. They're missing out. And you may have received some credit. You may have received some approval at the other end of the stick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Making sense? Yeah. So to understand that the mind that creates the distortion lens, I don't matter, that conclusion, also that mind is caught in polarity. And clearly that can be very confusing, right? And we often see in the collective celebrity world somebody who's gotten everything, the good end of the stick, and then we hear that they have committed suicide or had some downfall, right? Because that was the stick of their conclusion. The stick of your conclusion may have given you the experience sometimes of being acknowledged, of being heard, but for you, that would just re-emphasize, oh, well, they don't really know who I am. They don't really know I'm not good enough, right? Makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
you do talk about that. We can bury that to ourselves too.
For sure, we will project we will assert what it is that we don't believe about ourselves. Right?
Say that again.
We will assert, we will try to show up as being the one who has the message and needs to be listened to and have that identity. We will assert what we don't believe about ourselves as the truth of who we are. That's one of our adaptive behaviors that keeps us from experiencing, I'm not good enough, there's something wrong with me, and I can't be heard.
Because what you say touches me so deeply is that it breaks our heart to
Right.
feel that.
Right.
We don't want to feel that
That
about
we
ourselves.
we left ourselves with the conclusion, I don't matter, I'm not good enough, right? And so we will do everything to try to experience the truth, which is I am everything, to experience our true value, right? We will try to fit in, we'll try to contribute, we'll try to speak up. We may even rebel. There are many, many adaptive behaviors. The purpose of all the adaptive behaviors is to not experience what we concluded about ourselves. Now, to go to the other implication of this distortion lens that's inscribed with the distortion, I'm not good enough, I don't matter. That is the information into the quantum field. Now, when we use the quantum field to understand the way our 3D reality shows up, it can be a very high bar because it's just now coming into the vernacular. It's just now coming into our awareness of how reality works. For most of us, we were around 15, 20 years ago when the New Age blurb was, you create your own reality, right?
Yeah.
Now with the double slit experiment and the understanding of the nature of consciousness as everything, we are understanding our interface with the quantum field. So the interface is the information, I don't matter, I'm not good enough. The quantum field receives that. It's instantaneous, right? We can't add a time-space helmet to the quantum field. So when it receives that, it simply shows up as that in circumstances, in our 3D reality, in our world. And so now we're confirmed, and it's now the distortion becomes even more in the way we see reality. So the sixth step is what I'm representing as I say all this is the light of awareness shining on what's actually going on. I was a little girl. I was 6 years old. I believed I don't matter. There's something wrong with me. And that's been operative ever since. So now, but now we're knowing it. When it occurred, it was subconscious. It was your only a possibility in that experience. But now who we are is awareness, right? But so what we've been aware of is the distortion lens. I don't matter. I'm not good enough. And all of the creation that's arisen within that frequency.
Let's just pause for a second because her original thing was too much is coming in. I just want to
Yeah.
make sure.
That can happen with this one.
Yeah, she just talks. It's
It's
about
okay.
talking. She's a talker. So how are you
Did-
doing? Just checking in with you, Hilda.
Yeah, it's true that you're confirming reality with that ID you got. And it suddenly came up that for me, it's important that people are looking at me when I'm talking, because otherwise I don't feel seen. And it's so stupid, but it's the same thing. So it just came up. Ah, yeah, that's also something that's really, for example, when we are just three friends and one is talking and only looking at the other one and not to me, it's really, I feel excluded and I feel not seen and heard. Yeah, it's really, and then I'm starting to talk, so I'm acknowledged again, because then they are looking because I'm talking. So, but there is something with also the eye, and it's also relational presence, of course, but there is something really triggering there. So it's more of the same. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that replicates and you re-experience the dynamic in your family that you pointed to as the originating wound, right?
Yes.
It's like it's happening right there with two other people. Right. So the way, as we move through the 6 steps, when we get to the 6th step, it is what I call the forgiveness. But the forgiveness comes from the seeing, the awareness of what happened that wasn't true. It's like that, acknowledging that forgiveness just washes through the error and it just is dispelled. I am the awareness. As a little 6-year-old, you were the awareness sitting there with these bigger people, your 2 sisters and your parents, and not being heard, right? And so this got installed, this woundedness got installed. What we're moving through now to see that that's what happened and to understand how it created an experience of your lifetime ongoingly, we are shining the light of awareness. Awareness is who I am. That's what's true of you. I am that. I am the awareness, and in that, everything shows up. If I have the distortion of I'm not good enough, I don't matter, then what shows up will be experienced and perceived through that distortion. Once that distortion is cleared, which is what we're doing here, is the shining of the light clears the distortion. And then what shows up is just what's happening. And you can say anything actually, because you're not caught in the limitation of your own self-rejection. Yeah, so that's but know that awareness is what is, right?
So let me just slow this down a minute. So when Hilda, when you're sitting there on the Zoom and everybody's talking and there's a competition and you can't get in, you can't be seen, and you're avoiding that wound of feeling like you can't, it's like a you don't want to feel that. It's what I'm hearing Polly say right now, it's your own self-rejection that you're feeling. We put it out there, but somehow you're identifying with these feelings rather than the I am. Understandably, and all that, right? Yeah, we understand it. But that shift to the awareness, being the awareness. This making sense? How are we doing here?
Yeah, it's painful, but yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't want to feel that. We don't want to feel that, right? We don't want to, it's easier to put it out there than to feel our own self-rejection. Because in that moment, when you made that conclusion, you rejected yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, you're trying to get something from out there, whether it's attention or the right to speak or the whatever it is. But coming home to yourself, you're aware of that dynamic, right?
Mm-hmm.
What the 6 steps does is that it gives us like a diagram or an equation for how the shit that we suffer with shows up, how it got installed, and seeing that anything that you can see, that you can be aware of, is not who you are. It's an object. It's like anything that I can see, whether it's Robin or this computer or the screen, whatever, all of that is an object. It's arising in my awareness. Awareness is who I am. It's who you are. Yeah. So what you allow into that awareness you haven't had a choice about it because the distortion lens got created with the early conclusion. And so now everything that shows up, it will have one end of the stick or the other. Most often at the deeper level, it has the self-rejection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think for me, that realization that anything I can see or be aware of is an object. It'll come, it'll go, it'll show up. It's a person, it's a friend, an enemy, a person who's kind to me, a person who disses me. It's all an objective movie. It's a Netflix series, right? So that, but you know yourself as the awareness of it. And so now with that, you're not subject to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like saying the coffee pot can come over here and overpour my coffee in my cup. No, it's over there. It's an object. I can go get it or not. So it's knowing oneself as awareness is the awakened state.
So one thing, so Polly can say these things and we can hear them and they sound right, but to get them to land is kind of the other piece of it for me, has been. You know, for you,
It is
it's
for everybody.
for you, it's so clear. But so just in this moment, if you, what one thing I do, and maybe see if it works for you, Hilda, and all of you actually, is I just imagine holding that that pain, that child. I just kind of wrap my heart around that, or wrap the arms of awake awareness around that pain,
Mm.
and just hold it. And that's the forgiveness. That's the, I'm not it, but I'm the awareness that's holding it. And those words aren't quite right, but that's the first approximation of it. So I'm just wondering if you do that now, if you bring that light of awareness to that pain, to that time, inevitable that you
That
felt,
child.
inevitable, yeah, that 6-year-old felt that way. And just to not identify with the pain of it, have the pain, feel the pain, and just wrap the arms of awareness, or shine the light of awareness, or wrap that child in your heart, and just see what happens at a frequency level for you. Because I often feel it in a very body way. And I invite
Yes.
everybody on the call to do that, to, you know, pick a wound and just separate yourself from identifying with it. And
Because in your separation from the identity with the wounded child, you are acknowledging your true nature as awareness available. Each one of us is the one we've been waiting for as awareness, right? That parent, those siblings, those ones that we experience the woundedness in the context of, we come home to ourselves. They're never going to make it okay. They couldn't, they can't. It's all, but it's held in our consciousness as the conclusion. When you are showing up as the light of awareness, with the awareness of how that worked, right? It's not about letting anybody off the hook or putting them on the hook for that matter. It's about being there for yourself as the awareness of an installation of a conclusion that was never true.
Mhm.
And the thing that happens there for me is that self-rejection, I'm there for me. And
Mhm.
I'm no longer rejecting myself. I'm no longer, you know,
Against yourself.
I'm not against myself, and I'm not holding a belief that I'm not being heard anymore because I'm hearing myself.
Right.
Mhm.
I'm hearing myself. It's so intimate. It's so sweet. It's so deep, really. The coming home in that compassion and that light of
Mhm.
awareness, forgiveness, whatever words you want to use there. So I just want to
Mhm.
check in and see what's here. Is there something you can say about what's here now for you as we do this last step?
Yeah, I work easily with images, and I have like it's a yellow heart with little hands, and it's holding my inner space. So it's really soft. It's like fluffy. I had such a thing hanging on my cupboard a long time ago when I was a student, and I loved it. It's like a fluffy thing, a heart with little hands grabbing. So, and that's the image that's coming up. So I'm holding myself. And it's beautiful how you said it. I can hear myself, I can see myself, I can be okay with myself. I'm good enough. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. And again, it's not trying to take away we don't want to go to the stick.
Mhm.
It's really like, I mean, that good enough, not good enough, that's not even, that's
Mhm.
out the window. That's we're just there with ourselves.
Perfect.
We're just present with ourselves. It's ultimate relational presence, Hilda,
Mhm.
right?
It's the one that counts.
It's the one that
Mhm.
counts. It's the listening field for ourselves, for that young being, that young person.
Mhm.
And I don't know what you think about this, Polly, but I know sometimes you have us anchor with an image in another practice that you do around manifestation.
Mhm.
Would that be something, that image of that soft yellow fuzzy?
But I do think she's done that. That's what occurred to me. That having that image arise for you is the image. It's kind of like that can represent this shift that you, having seen the wound and the unavoidable but never true conclusion, you can
Mhm.
use that heart image as an anchor for that shift.
Mhm.
So when you're,
Yeah, I did that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
good.
yeah,
Mhm.
okay.
Mhm.
So anything else you want to say here, Hilda?
No, thank you. I I feel I anchored it, so it's really profound. I can feel it. It's like the little heart is having some roots there.
That's right. That's right. It's
Mm.
found its home again.
Yeah. Mhm.
And just
And I will put the light on now because
it's getting dark there. It's early morning for Jane, and it's getting dark in Europe. I love that we're this time space continuum that we're sharing together. It's just incredible.
Mhm.
I just want to say for myself again, in my experience, sometimes when I get the right, it's like a key that turns, and I get the right words or the right understanding of the conclusion, something shifts and it's done.
Mm.
Other times, fragments keep coming. I get part of it, and then I need to go circle back around and get another piece of it. It'll show up again. Oh, that triggers there again. Okay, there's more for me to do. So for us not to feel like, oh, I already worked this. I can't believe, you know, Heidi, I've already done this work. Why am I doing this again? No, it's like, here it comes, the next piece to be cleared. And again, yay, yay. Look forward to it. Yay, not wrong, not bad, no problem. Trigger, no problem. I did that the other day. I was teaching a class and like not very many people came and I'm like, oh my God, this probably doesn't have value. You know, is this gonna, like, I just went into a panic. And then I watched it. I did a really quick 6 steps and I said, when did I feel that? Oh, I was a kid, I was an infant and nobody was there. And I just like watched it and I like, oh, just let the whole thing go. Just pull back, let the whole thing go. And the class was probably one of the best classes we've ever had. It was like at the end, people were like, oh my God, that was so deep. That was so powerful. You know, we don't know. We don't know. You know, I'm a control freak. Okay, I'm going to come in and try to control it. And because I think I'm Supreme Court, I think I know what's good here, right? But the more I pull back, the more that can come through, the more I'm not trying to make something. And this is from really literally watching Polly work, how Polly lives in the world, like just the ease and the lack of resistance, the lack of trying to control. I mean, I've been in groups where people talk and talk and talk, and we're like, Polly, everyone's saying, Polly, take charge of the group. And, you know, she'll just sit there and the whole group will do what it does. And they're all therapists and they're all leaders. And she just sits there and, you know, it finds its way. It finds its way. But I don't know.
Yeah, awareness has its way as we come into the field of allowing, which is our heart. That's our heart chakra, right? That's what we left when the fall occurred in the garden, right? And so we're coming home to our own heart on our own behalf, and thereby creating a new world. Yeah.
So let's just take a moment and feel our hearts here. And see if there's something that touched you in Hilda's work, something that opened for you, something from your own story. Again, we're in the gate of the storyteller. If there's any, this is a chance, you know, we always talk in human design, like letting people have their voice. So this is a chance if there's something that came up for you as Hilda did her piece of work that touched you or opened for you, made sense for you. Landed for you, anchored for you. Yeah. There's something you're taking away. I'm just feeling the field just drop. Maybe we just need to take a few moments in silence here and
Beautiful.
just receive. And if anyone is called to speak, please do.
Any thoughts you're having? To fall into love with yourself is to know yourself as the awareness of it's it's an opening. It's like the gateless gate is the acknowledgement in the experience of awareness, and it's without it gets, you know, I always say our human design is the owner's manual. It's like we're playing this amazing high-end virtual reality video game, and this is our what do you call them, our avatar. This is our avatar, and it operates, and we get to see it through the human design. But that there's awareness apart from that, that is our true nature, becoming aware of the incarnating vehicle, becoming aware of the 3D reality, right? It's like coming home to that understanding of I am the awareness. It's like putting that awareness, that bright light, behind the vehicle. It's like the vehicle arises in the awareness that is the one I am, which is the one that you are. And so we have this different relationship with it. You know, it's we're kinder to this body-mind unit. So there is the blessing of knowing true nature as awareness, and within it, the fun and the ease and the gratitude for the beauty and the diversity and the miracle of it all. Yeah.
Okay, again, I just want to give anybody who wants a chance to speak, big invitation. Yeah, Jean-Vivi, are you waving goodbye? Are you saying something? You wanna say-
I'm waving, hey, I'm jumping into the silence. Uh, it's appropriate because I live with Heidi, and I was going to say, Hilda's, I really got it. What my lack of acknowledging when Heidi speaks, how it works. And I know Heidi may not like that I got it from somebody else, but it had to come from you, Hilda, because there is no emotional attachment there. So my mind was open. And what I realized is that for me, I have a different stick, but it's the tango stick, you know, two to tango. It's like for me, acknowledging is dangerous. It's putting me out of my, hey, I'm just listening there, I'm safe, I'm out of the conversation, just like I was waiting for somebody else to raise their hand and talk. And in the end, it's the same story. It's the story that if I put myself out, I'm going to be stuck with a stick. You're talking too much, or you're not interesting, or whatever. What I have to say is of no value. So I was feeling compassion for Heidi all these times where she asked me, are you listening to me, or are you just ignoring me? And how I felt hopeless and hapless when she says that. And so thank you very much for sharing. I know I can be in a mode where I'm super receptive and there and acknowledging, but it's a mode. It's like when I do relational presence. I can do it well if I put myself in there. It doesn't come, it's not my default. My default is I'm better hiding. So with that little yellow heart, I was holding that frightened child who felt every time I say what I want, or I express my feedback. Of course, it's not every time, but the time I expressed my feedback and I disagreed with authorities, I got put down in my place, and I'm not going to risk that. So
Yeah.
I'm going to use that little yellow heart. If I can, Hilda, if you can share.
Music, of course. Yeah. Mhm.
So that's the thing. When one person works, we all benefit.
True.
We all benefit from it. It's like we're breaking up the earth of the solid crust, and it aerates the land for all of us. It's very powerful to risk working our triggers. It's very powerful medicine. And really, I think central to deconditioning from our chart.
Mhm.
It's central. Thank you, Jean-Vivi, for being willing to speak, step forward. Yeah. My understanding is that we go till 10:30, is 15 more minutes. Is that your guys' understanding? I don't know if this is gonna work or not. I've never been good at this. I am going to try to play a song. Did you want to say something, Roxanne?
I did. Yeah, I was just waiting, holding space for anybody else who wanted to share something, but I had something very significant happen with Hilda's work. Thank you, Hilda. Oh my goodness. So when she got to that yellow heart, and I could feel in my body, it's like she's free. Or there was this sense of freedom, and it made me so happy. And then immediately what showed up was the word liberation, because my sun, which is the most powerful energy in my chart, is in gate 39, provocation. And the high expression of that gate is liberation. And so I just got this download, is that coming home to myself is liberation. Thank you, Hilda.
That's brilliant, Roxanne. It's spot on.
Spot on.
Yep. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Anyone else have a revelation or something that you'd like to share?
I do think that it's important to, it can't be a motivation, because that would put you back into being a me that needed something, but to understand that it requires every single one of us to do our own work on behalf of the whole. It's, it's the morphogenetic field of consciousness. It's the 100th monkey story one more time, but it occurs in the dynamic in our Zoom time together today. It was very specifically received by Roxanne from Hilda's work, but it's really important to realize it goes out in that way, energetically, and it requires every single one of us doing our work to liberation.
Yeah. There's only one of us, right?
That's right.
There's only one of us. And we're all aspects of this. Yeah, I see Jane's got your hand up. Yeah, Polly couldn't see that, but I saw it. I did see it. Go ahead, Jane. I'm glad to have you.
Thank you. I just want to say how grateful I am just through all of that, how grateful, and what a safe space this is to explore all of it, and the beauty that I experienced of coming home to myself. So thank you for everything that you have provided and will provide into the future.
Yeah.
So appreciative.
Thank you, Jane.
Thank you. I'm blowing a kiss, Polly. You can't see that.
She's blowing you a kiss.
Oh, mwah. Yes, dear. For sure.
Thank you.
So glad you're here, Jane. Yeah. Yeah, Heidi?
I'd really like to hear the song you want to play, but I also just want to reflect or say that my body is feeling so settled, and my heart and my mind is just calm, which, from 7 or since 6 a.m. to 9, it was very, very agitated, all of my body and mind. So it's just really nice to feel that settledness.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah,
It's a
so
turning of the dial. You're listening to this song, this like, what is that? Metal music.
Right.
Metal
Heavy
music,
metal.
heavy metal music, and you just turn the dial and you're listening to classical
Right.
Chopin or Brahms or
Yeah.
it's a little dial turn.
It's a frequency shift.
It's a frequency.
Yeah, I really feel it. It's really profound.
So good.
And I didn't have to do I didn't not have to, but I didn't do the 6 steps like with you directly, Polly. I just in the field and allowing my awareness to hold, and the images are really helpful between what Robin said and Hilda, of the images of holding that little me that installed the wounding, just gave some space. It's just really, I feel very grateful, very soft and very grateful, velvety.
Oh,
So good.
so nice, Heidi. Thank you. Yeah, Cindy.
Yeah, I just want to say that I experienced something profound as a witness of all of this, and I think like in our group yesterday, it was it's been my go-to in the past to just like drive around and start throwing out life rafts to everybody and just go, oh my God, I want everybody to feel better. I just want everything to be okay. And how can I do that? And I sat and just witnessed and allowed the universe to take its course with everything. And it's being in that unknown space that has created this beautiful expression of what it means to awaken and what it means to pay attention to the triggers. And I couldn't have said this is what's going to come from some of the interaction, but here it is. And through the space of allowing and witnessing this this beautiful journey has come right here for all of us, so wow, what a really powerful thing. So yeah, thank you to Hilda for being so vulnerable. Thank you to Polly for your wisdom, and for everybody for participating in this. I call it a healing, an awakening, a rejoining, and I loved it so much. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, maybe we should change the name to these Fridays, Awakening Fridays. And I do think we can use them, Roxanne, in the way that you spoke of, which is we can say what did you learn? What triggers did you deal with? I mean, I think that conversation too is rich and supportive. I mean, when I hear of, I'm in a couple groups with Polly and people work their triggers, I'm like, it's inspiring when they've worked something. And I hear about it like, oh, if they can do that, then I can do that. And I watch people change.
Exactly.
And that's inspiring. What really bothered me about someone doesn't bother me anymore. Or what the behaviors they were doing, that they don't happen anymore. They've worked their triggers. It all starts to change. The field softens. The field softens. We're in a field of softening here. Awakening is a softening. That's one of the things I've learned from you, Polly. It's not our egos going out there to awaken. No, it's it's not like that at all. Yeah. Anyone else in the last minute here, last few minutes, have something that's arising? Okay, I'm going to try this. I don't know if it's going to work or not, quite honestly. I'm going to try it. And if it doesn't work, we'll just stop and I'll just give you the link, and I'll give you the link anyway. But I made a song of the six step of Polly's awakening principles, and I played it. Roxanne and Heidi and Jean Vivi have heard this, but I played it at her birthday party, and I want to try playing it here now. People really found it helpful, and some people said I could just listen to that all the time, and it might be a support for you. I don't know. This was. Let's see if it's gonna happen here. I know sometimes when you do things on Zoom, it doesn't show up, doesn't work. So just, if it's scratchy or you can't hear it, put your hand up and I'll stop it and I'll just give you the link.
We left the garden of the heart, fell into the thinking mind, drew conclusions from our wounds, left our true self behind. But the triggers are the doorway to shift out of the dream. What we have is not who we are. We're the awareness in between. Coming home to the light that we've always known. It's not addition, it's subtraction. Bringing all our fragments home. We are the awake awareness within which all life flows. Coming home to the truth that always knows. All judgment is self-judgment. The frequency creates our world. If we don't change the vibration, we're just rearranging what's unfurled. You can't get enough of what you don't need. Can't solve problems at that level. The person is what we have, not the awakened soul that's settled. Coming home to the light that we've always known. It's not addition, it's subtraction. Bringing all our fragments home. We are the awake awareness within which all life flows. Coming home to the truth that always knows. Who we're being to ourselves creates the world we see. Heaven is our inner space. The earth flows naturally. Authenticity is everything. The highest frequency. When we claim our attention back, when we remember how to be. No person, no problem, just awareness pure and bright. The first priority is knowing our own awakened light. Everything is right here in this moment, in this now. I am that I am, and that's enough somehow. Final call, coming home to the light that we've always known. It's not addition, it's subtraction. Bringing all our fragments home. We are the awake awareness within which all life flows. Coming home. We are already home. We are already home. We are already awake. We are already home. We are already
Okay, I'm going to put this in the chat for anybody who wants to have that as another anchor, another play. So good, huh?
Yeah.
So let's just end with a word, one word. We'll go around and just say one word, starting with Cindy.
Yellow heart.
Margie.
Grateful.
Grateful. Jane.
Grateful.
Grateful. Heidi.
Softening.
Karina?
Love.
Love. Jean-Vivi?
Golden heart.
Golden heart. Deborah?
Joy.
Roxanne? Oh,
It's
can you say that again? You froze for a sec. Roxanne? Oh, I'm getting a freeze with you. Hilda?
Yeah, the yellow heart.
Yellow
I'm
heart.
very grateful as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Roxanne, you trying again? Okay, let's hear it again, Roxanne.
inspired.
Inspired, okay. Yarrow, my beloved Yarrow. Oh, you're muted, babe.
I feel like the tube Taurus.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And I just, what do I feel? What's here? Actually, I just feel spaciousness. I feel like we're held in space. It's light and, that's more than one word, but light and lovely. Any last word from you, Polly?
Just shining. Everything is shining. We're shining up reality. We're clearing out the debris. Yeah, one trigger at a time.
One trigger at a time. And Polly and I know it's not good for the Europeans, but you can listen to the replays. We're going to be doing 5 weeks of money, the unexpected path to awakening during the satsang hours, 2:30 Hawaiian time, 2:30 to 4 Hawaiian time, starting the last week in July, and we'll send
On
something
Wednesday.
out on Wednesdays. Yeah, we'll send that information out. Okay, beloveds, yay, love you, and
Shine on.
shine on. Yellow hearts, the Yellow Heart Club.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Jean's springing up yellow hearts. All right, you guys, love you. Bye bye.